Hey guys, welcome back to Rarity Touch. Today I'm going to show you guys exactly how hair lifts when using different volumes of developers. So I got my premium Blonde Me Premium Lightener 9 Plus, and this is what we're going to be using for this experiment. I also got my developers lined up ready to go. So what we're going to be needing is some gloves, some bleach powder, developers, a mixing bowl. Alright guys, as you can see, I'm going in and mixing everything using a 1:2 ratio. That's a 5 millimeters of bleach and 10 millimeters of developer, giving me a total of 15 millimeters per swatch. You want to make sure you're mixing it with a mixing whisk, not with the brushes. So application, as you can see guys, because I know that this is a larger slice, when I'm applying the bleach, I'm making sure that it's fully saturated. As you can see, I'm going in, I'm saturating everything, especially knowing how thick it is, because I want to make sure that the strand is coated and there's no patches. After application, I'm going in and I'm labeling each clearly. So as you can see, the 1.9% 6 volume is marked, so I don't mix up the results. I went in and I set a timer for 45 minutes for each of the swatch to keep everything consistent. This way everything is fair, and I'm applying, so the time that I'm mixing the bleach is right before application. So I'm not doing it ahead of time, like I'm not mixing everything at once, because once the bleach is mixed, it starts activating immediately. So timing is key. So next up is our 1.9% 6 volume. So it lifted to about a level 4, and in some areas I'll say 3. So the reason why this is like a medium brown is because the pigment is what is shown right now, it's the undertone. So don't be fooled by the initial appearance. It might just look darker, but because of the brown tone, you have to really look at the undertone, and the pigmentation is more of a orangey red base, as this usually appears around a level 4. When I compare it to the ICC chart, it aligns with that red orange pigment, so you can typically see at that level what it is. So overall, I describe the results are medium brown, maybe on the deeper side. The color is rich and you can see the warm undertones when the light hits it. So next up, we have our 3% developer, also known as 10 volume. At the first glance, there doesn't seem to be a huge difference, but when you compare both of it together, you can really see a bit of the difference. So there is a noticeable change. This side actually looks more slightly lighter than the 6 volume. Even though it's still sitting on the BSW level, you can tell some of the undertones have been lifted. It's pulling more orange now, like the orange looks a bit more lighter. So I'll say this is more of like a 5 of it. The hair texture feels good as well. It feels strong and healthy. So now next up, we have our 6%, aka 20 volume. So this is our 6%, and as you can see guys, it is way better and lighter. This has hit to a level 6, I'll say, or level 7. So this is like a light blonde. You can see that orangey yellow undertone, meaning this lifted better than the other ones. Orange yellow results. As you can see, it doesn't feel bad. Like, it's just the texture feels okay, it doesn't feel rough. But when we compare it to the 10 volume, you can see a difference. It is noticeable. You can see that there has lifted quite more. So if we're going to plan something and try to neutralize it in the future, we're going to use a purple blue base toner to neutralize these warm tones. All right, so this is our 9% 30 volume. Now, when I compare it to the 20 volume results, you can see a huge difference. Some people say 20 and 30 volume, there's no difference. But if you apply it properly and time everything right, there is a noticeable difference. The 30 volume gives a much lighter lift. It looks softer and the orange yellow tones are more muted. And last but not least, this is our 12% 40 volume. So it does feel very soft. Everything processed nicely. But if I be honest, I just feel like there's no difference between the 30 volume and the 40 volume. It just feels like it removed more of the pigmentation out, but maybe at the ends, a bit light at the ends, but there's no difference really. It looks like it's a level 8 or maybe a level 7, and it just looks more toned out than lifted. There's literally no difference. They're all on the same depth. Even when we compare it together, they look identical. They look the same. Now, when we compare the 20, 30 and 40 side by side, you can see a huge difference. The 20 and 30, there's a big difference between it. 20 looks a bit darker, 30 looks lighter, but the 30 and 40, they pretty much look the same. So for my overall conclusion, if you want to lift hair fast, go with the 40 volume. But if your goal is to remove pigment and if you're working with already processed or color hair, you're better off using a lower volume, which is a 10 or 20 volume, especially for those doing bleach buffs. In this test, I was honestly surprised with the lower volumes, the 6, 10 and 20 volumes. They lifted and removed pigment. So the power is really in the lightener, not the developer. The state says that developers like 10 are supposed to give 1 or no lifting, just deposit, and 40 is 2 to 3 lifts. But from this result, we can see that it literally gave 9 levels of lift. So they ain't lying, because remember, we started from -1, not 1. And that's it for this video. If you want to see more, make sure that you check out my next video, and thanks for watching. See you guys.